This could be the moment Trump fears most, and it's growing by the day. Imagine this: a top official lining their pockets with taxpayer dollars while running a deadly operation that ends in cold-blooded murder. But what if I told you it's happening right now, and it's all connected? You might think this is just another political scandal, but what's unfolding right now threatens to shake the very foundation of our government. And you might not even realize who the next target is. It's not just about corruption. It's about power, control, and something much bigger than anyone's telling you. Stick with me, because by the end of this, you'll see why this is a battle that's going to change everything. So what's going on here? It's not just a one-off incident. This isn't an isolated scandal. This is part of a much bigger pattern, one that goes way deeper than most realize. And as we're watching this unfold, one question keeps ringing in my head: why hasn't anyone stopped it? It's all about power. It's about what happens when those at the top don't just bend the rules, they break them entirely, when they play with lives and use the system to line their pockets. But it's more than that. This is about something bigger, something that could change the way we see government, justice, and accountability forever. And if you think this is just about one person, think again. This story is about a whole system that's been quietly rotting from the inside out. And you're not going to believe who's getting away with it. Here's the claim that changes everything: the Department of Homeland Security is being weaponized. And the one pulling the strings? None other than Christine Gnome. The articles of impeachment make it clear she's obstructing justice, blocking Congress, and pushing a dangerous agenda. Take a look at this. A federal judge just threw up their hands asking how is blocking Congress from overseeing ICE not violating a direct order? And yet, that's exactly what's happening. Gnome is not only disregarding court orders, she's stopping congressional oversight that's been in place for over 15 years. Why? To cover up the real story. But notice what's missing here. No one's talking about the massive contracts that seem to be tied directly to her actions. Millions of dollars are being funneled into her friends' pockets. No competitive bidding, no accountability, just a $200 million ad campaign to boost her image. And the truth, it's all happening under your nose. Now, here's where things escalate. And fast. This isn't just a matter of one corrupt official. What's happening here is part of a pattern that's becoming frighteningly normal. Think back to the past few years. How many times have we seen rogue government agencies running wild, unchecked? It's almost as if these abuses of power have become acceptable. But here's the twist. This isn't normal. This shouldn't be happening. It's not just a slip-up. It's a system being gamed at the highest levels. And as more details come out, it's clear. Christine Gnome is setting the stage for a new kind of government abuse. This isn't the first time we've seen this level of control being pushed on the American people. Historically, we've seen power concentrated in the hands of a few, leading to disastrous consequences. But now it's happening in front of our eyes, and it's not stopping. Now brace yourself for the next bombshell. The evidence against Gnome doesn't just stop at blocking oversight. It gets darker, much darker. There's clear evidence of self-dealing, and it's not a coincidence. The contracts, the ad campaigns, the money, all of it points to a web of corruption that could be one of the biggest scandals we've seen in recent years. And this is where the contradiction hits hard. Gnome claims she's working for the people, but how do you explain the $200 million ad campaign she's pushing with her close allies? A campaign that, by the way, promotes her personal image as a tough leader. It's not just misleading, it's an abuse of public trust. Here's the part that changes everything. The people benefiting from this deal aren't just her friends. They're tied to the very people who have been fueling the policies that harm ordinary citizens, and yet they continue to get richer while the rest of the country suffers. The reality? This system is rigged, and Gnome is at the center of it. This is where things get chaotic. In just a matter of weeks, we've seen a rapid series of events unfold, each one more alarming than the last. First, there's the obstruction, then the blatant self-dealing, and now we're starting to see the consequences hit the streets. Protests, escalating violence, ICE raids turning into full-blown operations, and none of it being properly checked or held accountable. Cities like Minneapolis, Illinois, and Portland are witnessing it firsthand. The real question is, how long before this spirals completely out of control? And it doesn't stop there. We're seeing legal battles erupt across the country. Federal judges stepping in, calling out these actions, but no one seems willing to stop it. The power dynamic has shifted, and it's no longer just about government overreach. It's about government chaos. What happens if this continues? We might be watching the slow collapse of any remaining trust in our government. If this doesn't change, we could be facing a future where no one is safe from the very system that's supposed to protect us. Now let's shift focus for a second, because this is where the story really hits home. It's not just about politicians and power grabs. This is about the people who are paying the price for it all. The American citizens, the families, the protesters who are facing off with ICE with nowhere to turn for protection. Every day, ordinary people are caught in the crossfire. Their lives, their safety, their freedoms, none of it matters to the system anymore. It's a game, and they're the pawns. Think about it. Peaceful protests being crushed, people arrested without due process, and no accountability for those who are supposed to protect us. If this feels familiar to you, if you see the parallels in your own community, then you're not alone. This is a growing movement, and it's not just about corruption at the top. It's about how it trickles down, affecting real lives. If this feels like a wake-up call, let us know in the comments. What happens next? That's the real question. Now let's step back and look at the bigger picture, because this isn't just about Christine Gnome or even the Trump administration. It's about the system that's enabling all of this. This is about power structures, incentives, and a game that's rigged from the start. Think about it. This isn't just about one person abusing their position. It's about a whole system that has been designed to protect the powerful, to shield them from accountability. The more we look at it, the clearer it becomes. This isn't a few bad actors. This is a systemic failure. It's about a system where self-dealing is the norm, where corrupt deals go unchecked, and where the public trust is treated like a tool for personal gain. The scary part? It's all happening right in front of us, and we're just watching it unfold. What if this isn't a one-off? What if this is the new reality? What happens when the people who are supposed to protect us are the ones exploiting the system for their own gain? So what happens next? The future's uncertain, but there are two very distinct paths we could be heading down. One path is more of the same: more corruption, more abuse of power, and more government officials using their positions to enrich themselves while the rest of the country suffers. And if that happens, we could see a government so broken that it stops functioning for the people altogether. But then there's the other path. The path where accountability finally kicks in, where public pressure forces real change, and where those who've been exploiting the system are held responsible. But here's the catch. We're not there yet. The battle for accountability is just beginning, and the question is whether we can turn the tide before it's too late. The momentum is building on both sides. The question is, who will come out on top, and what will that victory look like for the rest of us? Here's the deep, unsettling truth. This battle isn't just about Christine Gnome or even Donald Trump. It's about the very integrity of our system and whether we can trust it to work for us. What we're witnessing isn't just a political scandal. It's the unraveling of a system that's been protecting the powerful for far too long. To sum it all up, the more we uncover, the more we realize how deeply entrenched this corruption is. And as the story unfolds, it's becoming clear. Things will never be the same again. The question now is, will we finally demand change, or will we let it continue? If you want to see how this plays out, and if you want more in-depth analysis of the system at work, make sure you follow and subscribe, because this story is far from over and the next chapter is already in motion.